4, 3.
Action.
Welcome back. I'm Heath.
I'm Bernie.
And it's the Heath and Bernie Show. Yeah. Hey, what's up, guys? Today, we have a wonderful couple in here today. They're newlyweds. We're going to be talking about newlywed stuff. We're talking about healthy transitions and different things that newlyweds go through. And we want to welcome Anthony and Victoria to the podcast, to the show, to the Heath and Bernie Show. Woo! Thank you for having us. So this is a part of our focus on newly married couples.
Yes.
And we were really excited about having the two of you all. Y'all were a must-have because y'all been married for
Going on 3 years now.
3 years.
Yes.
Okay, so it's 2 years.
It's 2 years, yes.
We had a conversation last night. People are like, yeah, we've been married about 3 years. I'm like, oh, okay, when's your anniversary? Our anniversary is next month. So you'll be 4 years? No, it's 3 years. Well, then you've been married 2 years.
And 2
We almost
months.
there.
Yeah, almost at 3.
That's right, because your anniversary is in April or May? March.
April. We have April. We officially count the
Okay,
April.
hold on, because
that's
we're
right.
going
You
we're
got
going to get into
many
that.
dates.
We're going to
You
get
got
into
a
that.
lot going on.
But before we jump into introducing you all, we have some rapid fire questions for you.
Oh no.
Yes.
Yay, rapid
Lord, take
fire.
me
We have some
Yeah,
rapid fire
okay.
questions, and then from those rapid fire questions, we're going to see what it is that we want to talk about today.
Okay.
Okay, y'all ready?
No, but okay.
Okay, question 1. Which do you prefer? Text message or a quick call? A quick call or a quick talk in person? A quick talk in person or agenda
It was
item?
supposed to be one or the other.
I'm
Let's
sorry.
go through one or the other.
I'm like, that's a lot of.
I was wondering how we
A lot
gonna
of
remember
options.
this.
They're not. They're just supposed to remember
I'm
one at a
supposed to
time.
go 1.
Yes.
I was going through 1, 2, 3.
I understand.
Sorry. Let me
That's
say.
why I gave them to you ahead of time. I'm not
And
ever
I
gonna
did
get it.
read them.
I know. I
I
gave it
read
to
them
you
ahead of time, and I
Flick.
had got that
You're
together.
supposed to
But now I
understand
got
and ask any
confused
questions and
when
stuff
I'm
like
not
that.
supposed to get confused, and I got confused at the very wrong time. Okay, let me start all over. Which do y'all prefer, a text message or a quick call?
Text message.
Quick call.
Interesting. A quick call or a quick talk in person?
There is no quick talk in person.
So what is
Uh-oh, what that mean?
Victoria? Which one? Go ahead.
I'll say quick call.
Okay.
Do I have to choose one or the other?
Yes.
Quick call.
Okay.
A quick talk in person or agenda item at a family meeting?
A quick talk in person.
A quick talk in person.
Okay.
Question number 2.
It's a little bit of pressure.
Whatever. How do you communicate your feelings, with words or actions?
Words.
Words.
Oh, good.
And maybe some action.
Okay. Question number 3. Which do you prefer, weekly or periodic check-ins or spontaneous heart-to-heart talks?
Spontaneous.
Spontaneous.
Question number 4. Does trust start at 100 and decrease based on their actions, or trust start at 0 and increase based on their actions?
That's a good question.
100. And fluctuates.
So
Starts
it's
at
one-
0.
Wow.
You gotta earn. it.
Wow.
That's that New York for you.
Oh, okay.
That's that New York.
Number 5. This is multiple choice. What do you need right after an argument? Immediate resolution, time to cool off, time to process, or a return back to normal?
All of the above.
Ooh.
Yeah, time to process.
Oh.
Time
But
to
what do you
process.
need right after, though,
What do you need right after an argument?
Vic?
Time to process.
I mean, you said time to process. You
She
said
need
all the
of
above.
them.
I need all of
immediate-
them and repeat all of them.
You
so I
need
know what all of them
immediate. So you
but I knew
said
they were all of them.
you need immediate resolution, time to cool off, time to process, and a return back to normal.
Resolution.
Yeah, our
So
personalities.
immediate resolution.
Our personalities is we're wide, different.
Okay, we'll jump into that.
You want to
Yeah.
resolve, and he said, "I just need to process." Got you. Interesting. Number 6. Which way best describes how you communicate information to your spouse? Direct and straightforward, or calculated and measured?
Calculated and measured. Direct and straightforward does not work in my marriage.
Okay. for you.
Direct and straightforward.
It works for her though, apparently.
Yes, direct and straightforward.
Okay. Emotionally expressive or logically expressive?
Logically expressive.
Emotional.
Wow.
That's
Okay.
a given.
Which way best describes how you communicate information to your spouse? Many words or few words?
Fewer words.
Many, many words. Dissertations.
Okay, and the last one is big picture or detailed picture?
A big picture.
Detailed picture.
Of course.
Yep. Okay, number 7. Which way best describes how you'd like to receive information from your spouse? Direct and straightforward or calculated and measured? So this is how you receive instead of give.
I'll let you answer, babe. Go ahead.
How I receive it. What were the two? Calculated and
Direct and straightforward or calculated and measured.
calculated and measured.
Calculated and measured as well.
Okay.
Okay, emotionally expressive or logically expressive? How you like to receive information? from your
Logically.
spouse.
Logically.
Really? Okay.
Many words or few words?
Still many words.
Few words. few words. Straight to the point.
Last one, big picture or detailed picture?
Still detail.
Big picture.
During personal challenges, which do you prefer? Caring emotional support or solid problem-solving advice?
Solid problem solving advice.
And emotional support.
So is which one is and emotionally supportive, or do you prefer emotionally supportive?
Prefer emotionally supportive.
Okay. And you want the problem solving.
Yeah, problem solving. Let's get to the solution.
Okay.
Okay, so number 9 is multiple choice. Which best describes your concern about what people think about you? 1, you care what people think about you.
2.
You're unbothered by what people think about you. And 3, you deliberately don't care what people think about you.
I'm going to go with 2.
You're unbothered by what
Unbothered.
people think.
I'm too unbothered.
Really?
Right in the middle.
I would think
Okay.
that you would be 3.
Deliberately.
You deliberately don't care.
2 and 3 the same.
No.
For the most part.
No.
3 is like very like
2 is you're indifferent. 3 is I don't care.
at all. 2, you might care a little bit.
Naturally, I'm a 3, but I have moved slightly towards the 2 range now because of my marriage.
Yes. Good answer.
Good job,
answer.
Anthony. Number 10, which do you prefer? Spontaneous, flexible plans or structured, timely routines?
Structured down to the T.
That's funny you'd say that after our disagreement yesterday. Structured.
Okay.
Y'all are a structured family.
We like to be. We strive to be.
We are. We're working on malleability, flexibility.
Good one. That's good.
Okay, number 11. In what do you prefer to invest your time and resources? Shared interests and activities or personal passion projects?
Both.
I would say shared.
I say both answers.
Okay. Okay, this is multiple choice. Which do you prefer? Family outing with your extended families? Family outings with just the 2 of you and the kids? Oh, I'm not supposed
No,
to
you're
read all
supposed to
these.
read this one.
Oh. Couples outings with just the 2 of you? Outing with your individual friends or solo outing by yourself?
Let's go with the boys. I'm JK.
If that's your answer,
No, that's not the answer.
If that's your answer, that's
no, that's not
fine.
the
Oh, you
answer.
just wanted to throw a joke, but the jokes sometimes have meaning.
Oh, Lord. But no, I enjoy
Speak your truth.
family time with the kid.
I don't think that was an option.
Family outing with your extended families, family
Yes.
outings with just the 2 of you and the kids.
Yeah.
Couples outing with just the 2 of you, outing with your individual friends or solo outing by yourself.
I would choose an outing with just him and I,
Okay.
The
and not
child-
Asher.
The child throws
Maybe when
some
if he gets a
excitement
little
into the-
older.
Yeah.
into
It's a
the
little.
mix.
So that's a lot.
Yeah, excitement
the
into the
baby.
mix.
Yeah.
Plates might be thrown.
Food on the floor.
Food's on the floor.
Yeah, I mean, you got a 2-year-old, so
One.
1-year-old.
You done made the boy 2 already?
I've just known about him for such a long time.
I know. I know. Okay, here's a
Preconception.
good one. What Trinidadian or Nigerian cultural values have you found to be enriching in your marriage or challenging?
Well, enriching is one question, and
Oh.
then challenging is going to be the question after that.
That's a loaded question.
Yeah, I think let's start with the enriching part. I think family dynamics, closeness within the family,
I'd
on both
agree.
ends, on external in-laws as well as internal.
Okay, family dynamics, you said.
Yeah, the closeness,
The
of,
closeness.
of our
Oh.
family dynamics has been very beneficial in our
Okay.
marriage.
Okay.
I'd agree. I'd say family-wise, on both ends, the Trinidadian side and the Nigerian side, both cultures both appreciate closeness within the family. I guess what was the enriching and what was the other part?
Challenging.
Okay, and we're doing enriching right
You're
now.
doing
Okay.
enriching right now.
I also appreciate the foods. I think that's also a plus to both sides. Both cultures have great food.
I agree. I agree. I appreciate the foods as well.
What else?
What about challenging?
Challenging wise, there are a lot of things, culture, there are a lot of things, bad attributes of culture, but I would say the toughest we've had to experience and I've had to experience is the in a sense, I won't even say tribalism, but stay within your own culture. And so that has been my biggest struggle
Okay.
with marrying somebody from a different culture.
Okay.
To play off of that, I think some of the things that have been challenging is when culture kind of conflicts with religion or spirituality, whatever you want to
Oh,
call
that's
it.
an interesting point.
That's, I think, what has been a challenge for me in certain areas of our marriage. Yeah.
Very interesting point. Okay, we'll dive into that a little later. Keep going.
We're almost done. 14. Which do you feel is best for family stability? Financial security or work-life balance?
Both.
That's a good question.
Both. I can't even.
You got to pick one.
No,
you got to
it's
pick one.
50-50.
You got to pick one
I would say
because you'll lean toward one more so than the other.
yeah, I would say financial stability now. We are, I mean, personally, financial stability. Maybe later on we will work towards a work-life balance. But we're young, so get it in while it's hot. While you still have the limbs for it.
I can't choose. Now, putting my foot down, so I'm not supposed to be
You hit the table. Boom. And she did a fist
breaking the
bump.
rules. I can't choose. I can't choose. I'm sorry, I cannot.
They both that high.
One's
Because I value both of
One
them
is 49,
equally.
one is
I
51.
understand.
Which one is 51%?
Work-life balance?
What is the Holy Spirit telling you?
Work-life balance.
Okay, go with
Work-life
that.
balance. We'll
Work-life
explore that a
balance.
little bit later. Go ahead, Bernie.
15. How do you prefer to manage finances? Shared financial responsibilities or separated financial responsibilities?
Shared
Shared.
financial responsibilities.
Okay. Which comes more naturally for you, adapting to new cultural norms or preserving traditional norms? I mean, traditional values.
That's a great question.
Which comes more naturally to you?
Naturally, it's preserving. I would say naturally it's preserving. It's a natural instinct.
Okay.
To preserve traditional values.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. Second.
Good.
17. Which do you prefer, mutually agreed upon decisions or defer to your spouse's judgment?
Majority of the time, I usually defer. I won't go into why. Should I go into why?
We'll go into why a little bit later.
Yes, I think where I am naturally now is just defer. Don't make a decision. Defer.
I'd go with mutual. Wasn't that the option? Yeah, it was the option. Mutual.
It was.
Yeah,
No.
I'm laughing
Yeah,
because
I know why he's laughing.
Yeah.
it's just you said you'll go mutual. You said defer, which is very stark difference.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
Very
We delve into that too.
interesting. Okay, 18. How do you see the vision for your future? A detailed plan or a flexible journey?
A flexible journey. We do have milestones, but how we get there is the whole journey of life, and that is life.
I'm open to the flexible.
Okay, last question, multiple choice.
Okay.
Which type of leadership in relationships do you prefer? Number 1, the man leads and the woman follows. Number 2, the person leads their agreed upon responsibilities. Number 3, the best person for the job leads. And number 4, no one leads, we make decisions together.
Why y'all do this?
That's
I'm on 2 and 4.
you.
A mixture of 2 and 4.
The person leads their agreed upon responsibilities, and 4, no one leads. What? How are you 2 and 4? That don't make,
I would say
2 and 4.
that don't
A
make
person
sense.
leads their agreed upon responsibilities, and no one leads. We make decisions
for-
together.
Oh, no. Sorry. 1 and 4.
Okay.
1 and 4.
The man
Not
leads
very
and the woman
opposites.
follows. No one leads, and we make decisions together.
I would say
Okay.
3.
Okay.
I
What
would
was 3
say-
again?
The best person for the job leads.
Oh. I could
That
see
goes
that.
along with your deferring.
Yeah, I've learned. You know, trust me, I didn't start out this way. I could make decisions
I trust you.
unilaterally. That way. Drag
Wrong
everybody along.
answer. Wrong answer.
But see, marriage, I mean, we can dive deeper. We can dive deeper into that.
Okay,
Go
that
ahead.
was it. That was the last
Yeah,
question.
that was the last question. But don't take these anywhere
Oh.
because we're gonna have to refer back
Okay.
to them. I do want to dive into this, but before we do, I wanted to talk about the 3 weddings.
Yes.
Oh, gosh.
And so I need people to understand.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can do this here.
Oh, you're ready with the picks.
Oh yeah, come on.
Ready.
Come on. I need people to understand what I need you all to help us understand, like, what were the 3 weddings about? Because you had 3 weddings. 2 were very elaborate.
And the
but-
first was intimate.
Okay, so talk about why did you decide to do 3 weddings?
So this was we got married through the period of COVID. So there were a lot of travel stipulations. Majority of our family were in Trinidad. Majority of my family were in Nigeria. So we tried to accommodate best all parties
Okay.
through the wedding. So we did, at first, weddings do cost a lot of money, a lot of planning and time. We decided to get married, I believe, December. And we didn't want to move in together or tie all our financials together at that point.
Yeah.
But we were making plans. So like, okay, let's go to the courthouse, make it official before we move in together and start tying our lives together while we plan for these other weddings. So on my end, since I'm the first son to get married in the family
Okay.
of our generation, so my mom and my family, my mom mostly pushed for a traditional wedding,
Okay.
Nigerian wedding.
Are you the oldest
No, I'm the oldest son.
in your immediate family?
In my immediate
so you
family.
just, it's the brother and a sister?
So I do have an older sister and myself and a younger brother.
Okay, it's 3 of y'all.
Okay.
I saw the eyes.
I didn't do anything with mine.
So I mean, I was indifferent about the traditional wedding, but I mean, it was they wanted it and we could, wiggle it in. So accommodate it, and it would be a great experience for Vic to come to Nigeria at that time. So we did go to the courthouse in March.
Wait, before you go on to the next one, let me
I'm
let me give
sorry,
my
I'm
side
just-
too.
I'm-
Before you
I'm
go,
taking
no,
the
we're doing
lead,
1,
baby.
2,
Go
3.
ahead.
So
Okay.
Right.
for
Go
the
ahead.
first one, I personally wanted to get married before God, before I went into another culture and did a traditional wedding. So
Okay.
that was one of
Yes.
the biggest reasons that we did a small intimate wedding. It wasn't at the courthouse, actually. It was in my mentor's home. So
Yeah.
Right,
we
right,
did that,
right, right.
yes. So yeah, that was.
And they performed the ceremony?
They performed the
Okay.
ceremony. We just had the witnesses, and that was it. So it was about like 7, 8 people total. in
Okay.
that small space. And again, it was COVID during the time. So, but yes, that was one of the biggest main reasons why we did that first one first.
Yes.
And then we went on to the traditional. And so, yeah,
He's gonna get you.
I know.
Thank you, Anthony. I be getting Bernie all the time.
Yep.
Don't even realize that I do that.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. It's very
Yeah.
natural. You can do it, just don't
Yeah.
make them. Go ahead.
Okay. Sorry. My bad.
No, you were talking about traditional. We're on number 2.
Okay, so the traditional was something we discussed. Financially, we came to an agreement of what was going to be allocated for that, but majority of the we discussed with our family how much we're putting towards it. So whatever jamboree was being thrown, they have to,
Now let's talk about the jamboree because we have here a very interesting turn of events. So there was how many outfit changes were there?
There were 3 outfit changes.
That was the Mother's Night. That's just for
So
the
what was this?
Mother's Night.
Mother's Night, just for the moms. We come in and they congratulate us. They make a speech. They bless us, and then we leave. And all the mothers, my mom and her friends and
Okay.
aunties, come together to celebrate their accomplishments. And
Their accomplishments?
it's hard being a parent out here, so they have to
Oh,
get
okay.
together. It's a lot of
Okay.
sacrifices.
When you say aunties, do you mean real aunts or you call a lot of your mom friends aunties?
Well, his family is huge, so I'm pretty sure he's talking
you
about
mean aunties?
aunties, but still, people
extended.
So it's
that are
both.
extended.
Okay.
Yeah.
Culturally, aunties can be. It doesn't have to be blood.
I got you.
So a lot of women who contributed or were there.
It's interesting that you say that too, because in their culture, anyone, if I'm just going to the market or I'm
Right.
seeing anybody in the street, I'm saying, hi, ma. You say hi, ma, to like everyone.
I thought it was auntie. It's ma?
Ma,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
Oh.
Wow.
And you can say auntie, but more her age. She's a little
Yeah.
younger than most people, so she can't just be so smart. Give them a little bit more respect.
Oh, so
Then
okay.
Good afternoon,
Okay.
auntie, because auntie can be a little bit closer in age range
Okay.
to kind of gauge. But ma is somebody older than you.
I see.
And this right here. Now what was that?
So this was the actual traditional wedding. This was when we
This was the first outfit.
first outfit. We arrived and we will be ushered in.
Anthony wore his.
Traditional with shekri. See that green? The green.
It was smooth. It was like a
Thank you.
I don't know what to call it,
Thank you.
but it was smooth.
What's
I was
on
like
the bottom?
I like the
I
hat.
could have gave you better pictures than this.
I mean, I just got them off GroupMe.
I
So.
know. Wow.
Cause this look, it's
Got a bag in the picture. like-
look, the people just want to see. I just want to show them what this
we gonna
wedding
replace these
attire
pictures. Don't
looked
worry,
like.
y'all.
Yeah.
This is outfit 1.
This is outfit 1. So he came out in his tradition, and I came out in my own, which
Okay.
is the Indian attire.
So that was your
Yes.
cultural traditional
Yes.
outfit. Okay, I thought so.
Sorry.
Yes, that's a sari
Sorry. Okay.
or a lenga.
And then what happened after that? Because this right here was
This was
very,
savage.
very.
It's the glasses that keep
It's-
popping up.
It's the. I'm not
gonna
trying to
give
get
you
people.
better
I'm not trying to get
videos.
people breathing on my cup.
Yes, because I'm
energy.
only supposed to allow my husband to drink that drink.
So what is this ceremony?
So it's a Igbo tradition. Once I come in, the husband or the groom to be comes in with his people and they hide them somewhere in the crowd.
I have
Okay.
to search for him.
She has to go with the
Oh,
cup.
really?
Get
And so I had
blessed.
people like tapping on me and
Telling you where to go?
or
to
no,
find them?
just trying to
Oh,
trying to get the cup
trying to
from
trick
her.
me to
Oh.
trying to get the cup.
I see.
But I'm only supposed to allow the person I'm marrying to drink the cup.
Yes, it's like she gets the
Oh.
cup blessed, and whoever she gives the cup to or drinks from the cup is the husband to be.
What if somebody just like give me the cup and like drank it?
That's it. It's
Oh,
not our wedding
wow.
anymore. It's hers.
So hands was flying after that. I'm sure. Like what? Hands are flying.
Yeah, they-
wow.
So were the people tapping on you? Were they women or were they men?
Man,
Really?
yeah. I mean, they were just
They were
joking.
tapping
It was
you?
joking. It was in a joking manner because
That's not funny though, because
Yeah.
what if somebody was really for real trying to like I'm trying to like get that cup?
you
I
better
mean,
hold on
I
tight
didn't
to
know
your
anyone
cup.
there, so They
all the
didn't know
more
me.
reason for them to be like, snatch drink. Okay, now you
They,
mine.
they can't go ham and snatch the cup, but I mean that is the culture though.
I also
so,
have people walking behind
yeah,
me
she
too
does have
to
her
kind of.
bridesmaid to kind of know or but it's the culture. Is whoever you give that cup to, showing the community this is who I chose.
Okay.
So you better
So
guard
did you
that
come
cup.
out, or she literally had to find you?
Oh, so
to
initially
find him.
she had to find me. Initially, when she came out with her sari, they placed me
They
in
told
the
me
back.
when he was.
But
They didn't really.
you know.
They guided me there.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
they guided her there too.
We did a little
just-
show and then we ended up there.
Oh, okay.
So talk about then this. I think the next wedding was. Oh no, this outfit. What is this outfit?
That's the Igbo tradition outfit.
Yeah, so
the
it-
second one with that I was wearing green.
Was the shekiri my father's side? You usually take the you are from where your father's from, not where your mother's from. So this shekiri kemije in the green, that was where my father's from. This is more of a Igbo, my mom's side. This is more of her their attire with the lace on Vic's head and the
No, I don't have lace on my head. I have a gile on my head.
gele on the head and the
Why do I know this and you don't?
you the one that yeah.
Had to wear it.
And the and what she's holding, the fan, it's more of the Igbo culture. But the hat and what I'm wearing, the hat, the kemije and the beads are still more it's shekiri. It's just
I
more
mean, that's a
tailored
smooth
to-
get up though. I mean,
thank
you
you,
should
man.
rock that like to Walmart.
Oh my God.
I don't know about Walmart, but
I
you
mean,
know.
but if you walked into Walmart like that, they'd be like, "Sir,
Why
can I help you?"
Walmart?
I mean, just I'm talking about any just regular.
Oh.
Like you should wear that. That is a smooth get up.
Yeah, you
with the
was-
beads and everything,
yeah,
with the
you will-
hat.
you will stand out. It definitely.
You would think
is.
so, but I'm even thinking about the time where we went to that restaurant and you wore your traditional and they were like, oh yeah, you need to come back and put on
A jacket.
a jacket, a suit, blazer.
Where did
Really?
y'all go?
Somewhere in Baltimore.
In Baltimore.
No, it's a
was in
restaurant
Baltimore.
that it's on a rooftop.
In Baltimore.
It's supposed to be a great restaurant, but they mandate a jacket no matter
Okay,
where you're
okay.
from.
I
understand
that.
It was
All
one
right.
of those. It was one of those events that happened where
So what did y'all do in that situation? Did
We
y'all?
fought them.
Yeah, I had a conversation with them that this is cultural. Like what I'm wearing is appropriate in any business. I can walk into the Wallback or OPIC, and this is a professional attire. It is a cultural professional attire. Just because America has a standard of a suit does not mean that is the world standard.
Yeah.
So
Right.
we
Good.
did have a
Right.
very one-on-one
He had on a
conversation with the
hat,
manager
everything.
about accepting
yeah.
other people's cultures.
And then
Oh,
they
yeah.
let us in.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Good job.
Discrimination.
Not discriminating.
Was he
Yes,
the
he
manager
was.
was white?
Yes, he was.
He was.
Oh,
Yes, he
okay.
was.
Yeah, yeah.
I already
yeah.
knew what you were asking. Yes, he
Yeah.
was.
Yeah, yeah.
He was right.
And so then y'all had another wedding.
Is this your video, Heath?
No, it's not. Although it might be. I think it is my video. So why did y'all want to do another wedding? So you wanted the traditional. You wanted the non-traditional.
Yeah, this is the. Yeah, in his culture they call it the white wedding.
Okay.
So this was more to accommodate all our family and friends.
Now here's hold on. Spray the money. That phrase stayed with me for weeks. Spray the money. Spray the money. And see that y'all talking about making rain. That was happening all night long. It didn't matter who was coming in. The mother was coming in. Both of y'all mothers came in.
Yes.
And spraying the money was so.
That's
What is
that's
that?
his
What's that
culture.
cultural thing from?
It's more of an appreciation. Spraying people money is showing them appreciation, showing them a love. That you're here for them to support them rather than gifts. Gifts are appreciated, but really spraying the money is, and they see you while you're spraying
Okay.
the money too.
Oh.
So you appreciate those people for spraying the money.
Yes.
I was like, I don't have that much cash on me though. I mean, you got to come prepared.
Yes, we do take Cash App, Zelle. We have somebody changing money in the corner,
Yeah, they have a banker there
Yes.
that changes the money too.
Are you serious?
Yes.
All the money that was thrown, then you pick it up. You say, hey, I got $100 bill, or I have some Zelle money.
I do recall the young girls going around and picking up the money, and then I don't know what they did with it. I wasn't really clocking where that money was going.
Yes.
But I don't know what, I was like, okay, good. You get the young girls, they go pick up the money, and then something else happens. So you're saying that became the bank, and then
Yes.
if you knew you
For
needed to get
people
some
to
cash,
change some
okay.
more money.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Why do you call it a white wedding?
So unfortunately, that is just, it's just what it's called because it's what's the correct term? Caucasian wedding? Not. Is that right?
Oh,
It's because really the traditional wedding in Nigeria, once you do a traditional wedding, you're officially married. You know, you don't need the white gown ceremony or the church. Once you do a traditional, you pay your dowry through the traditional marriage, you're officially married. So this is the white wedding because after they colonized Nigeria, they brought this gown and to the church, and they brought Christianity over too. So that's why we call it the white wedding, because the white people. I'm not politically correct and do not use this.
Hey, that's what they call it.
Don't put this online.
Yeah, but
I
that's
didn't know
what
if
they
you
call
meant
it.
that
People in the
or
comments,
white.
we might blow up.
If that's what it's
Something was
called.
wrong.
Has a lot of white in it. That's
Oh
why.
no,
That's why I was asking.
They call it that because from Nigeria, that's the white people brought it over,
Yeah, yeah.
and you know that we delineate dark skin from black and white. That's how we really and Arabs, but we delineate black, white, and then the Arabs. Those are the three major.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. So you all mentioned a lot of the cultural differences.
Yes.
And this seems to be like a big thing in y'all's culture. And so you're Trinidadian and you're Nigerian. How did you all balance those two different cultures? Or how that's too hard of a question to ask. What was one of the things that you, before y'all got married, identified as something that you all wanted to bring into your marriage from each other's culture?
We definitely talked about that because I knew that it would be something. And I know for myself, I didn't want it to be a situation where one was going to be precedent over the other.
Okay.
That was really important to me because I thought about, okay, how are we going to raise our children, right? Are we going to raise them more Nigerian or more Trinidadian? And so for me, it's always been, okay, it's going to be 50-50. In a perfect world, I'm pretty sure that doesn't happen. I can't really even say what the percentages are now as we're raising our child. We've been to Trinidad already. We've taken him there. We plan to go to Nigeria as well. So Asher will also get to experience that. But I think he gets a good mix of both. You know,
Okay.
I think even just interacting with our extended families on his side and my side, it's a good, combination of the both. However, I would say that there has been challenging times due to, I would say, the cultural aspect of what is supposed to be, what is law in one's culture versus another.
What do you mean?
Elaborate, please, babe.
I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. Maybe like the politics. I don't. You say politics, and now
I
I'm
say
saying politics, but
You're looking for me to jump in this. They are.
And I understand you have to be very sensitive to family and cultures.
Yes.
So that's why I was asking, what were some of the things that you wanted to bring into your family?
Okay.
What, we don't have to, I'm mindful and sensitive to those concerns of the people, of the strays that might get caught.
Oh, no, it's fine.
nah, we appreciate that.
Yeah, we do appreciate that. It's life, and you manage. Family is what you're given to manage, not what you pick.
That's very well. I like that.
very
Family's
true.
what you're given to manage, not what you pick. That's nice. I like that.
And very true.
That is very true.
That is very true.
So we had.
Is that a Nigerian saying?
No, I just made it up on the fly. I made it up on the fly. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, go ahead.
So, in regards to this family, so in our kids and growing up, we had conversations, in all honesty, about how we want to raise our kids in exposure, not too leaning towards more one side than the other, because one side is more prevalent. Like my side is more prevalent in the States than hers, and especially in the Maryland area.
Right.
I have a lot of family in Maryland, Texas, but they're very much more prevalent. So we've had conversations, but I guess as we had when we had our first kid, and
Well, before that, because I want to talk about the transition from what you had planned on having
to where we
to
are.
actually like when y'all got married. Like, what was the difference between, or if there was a difference between what you planned on, how you planned on coalescing those two very strong cultures, and then like what were some of the challenges in that coalescing?
Okay, so
Coalescing.
Thank you for so in saying that too. I knew I was not marrying into an African household. In keeping that in mind, I have to be not even flexible. I have to be open to know that there is another party involved. There is that I'm bringing into this.
Okay.
So I was very open to hearing and understanding that I need to make accommodations to be 50-50 on both sides. It's not always, even probably 65, whatever, 35, if that's right. 65-35 sometimes, because I know Nigerians are very dominant, and I know we have to accommodate, and her family, they're more relaxed and chill. So I
Okay.
knew I had to make more of an accommodation for her family and how her family operates.
Really?
If not, my family,
Did that accommodation come from a intentional, let me set this
No,
structure?
sir. No, sir.
Or was it reactive?
It came from encounters.
Yeah,
Okay,
it came from encounters.
Okay.
Engaging every encounter we gauged, and how can we tweak, or you know.
And I feel like we're still learning even in that process. It's not something we've 100% figured out. We have certain parameters and certain things where we're like, okay, we'll say this, we'll do this.
Okay.
However, every situation and scenario is different.
Is there unity between the two of you all about what that unified position is to the other cultures?
Not always.
Not always, but we found a good way to deal with it.
Okay.
Not even deal, to manage it.
Okay.
We
Talk
found
about
a
it.
good-
Tell the people.
Okay, so before, so we found a good way to manage it. I mean, and this just goes in just having those conversations, having somebody in the middle to guide you, Heath, through especially through situations that are unique, that aren't so, that you can't just call any Tom, Dick, and Harry, or that doesn't understand the dynamics at play.
Okay.
So number one, you never make decisions. You always have you have pre-conversations to have a safe plan. If this does not align with what we discuss, we'll get back to them. So we had conversations. It took some time. I would say it took a lot of falls, but we worked through them, bruisings and some dragons.
Things.
But
getting better.
when we had those parameters set between us, right, early on in our marriage, because I would say tradition was a big obstacle.
Okay.
Our culture was a big obstacle.
Yeah.
From two different, to us, from when we started dating to when we got serious to when we actually got married until today. So we had to put different parameters and be on the same accord. Even if we're not on the same accord, we need to get back to our safe zone to
Okay.
have these discussions, to hash out.
What do you
what
mean
we
by
need to
safe zone? What do you mean by that?
Safe zone, I would say our home, somewhere we can freely discuss our perspectives and have those conversations. Even though we don't see eye to eye, we can freely and safely have those,
Okay.
what's the word? Those discussions.
Okay.
I would say pretty much our home. Our home without the prying eye of other individuals, family, where we can actually openly have a discussion.
So I thought you were talking about it more figuratively, like there's a safe zone that you have created in your communication, in your relationship, that allows you to talk a certain type of way without there being an offense. That's what I was reading into it. But is the home that place, or does that place not exist for y'all?
So, for some reason, the keyword fence, it just stuck. There is a level of barrier from us to the outside world and our extending and everybody outside. So
Okay.
there is a fence, no matter where you are, what we are, there is a fence that we need to keep up no matter what between us to the
Okay.
outside. Please jump in if you need to. I can talk. But when I say safe zone, I meant actual a little safe space where we can come together to have a discussion, to be on the same accord
Okay.
moving forward.
Okay.
That's what I meant.
Okay. You care to add anything, Victoria?
No.
It seems like I'm driving this conversation. Okay. But I hope I did answer
No, yeah,
your
you
question.
did. You
Okay.
did. And so do you think that there will be, I know you've been married only 3 years now.
2+ as you
2+.
identified.
Okay. 2 years now. Do you think that the cultural dynamic is kind of a stable issue, or is there or do you think there's a lot of still room for fluctuation and change in that?
So we have a firm foundation, but as I would say, life. Just like life will always find ways to make you adjust or test.
Right.
So, in a prime example, we went there as we were married then, but we went there technically as engaged, right? So next time, Nigeria. This is just foreshadowing. So when we get back, when we do visit,
we were married.
We were married technically, but we went through the whole.
Oh, so you went as engaged people and then you got married there.
Yes.
Okay.
In their eyes?
It was like we just went through the hoops. Okay, babe, let me land.
I'm confused.
Let me land.
I'm confused because I'm like, we got married.
You are
we
right.
Were married.
We were married. You are right. We were married.
But you went there to get married, so technically you were married, but figuratively you weren't married. You went there to get married. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's what I'm. Thank you for clarifying.
Okay.
Thank you.
So just as I would say, so we do have a steady foundation. We have a very solid foundation, but as life throws things at you, and this is just me, not foreshadowing, but seeing ahead.
Okay.
So like I know when we get back to when we do visit Nigeria again, the dynamics will change because we're married now. We have a child, so certain. Unfortunately, certain interactions we might have to have certain discussions. You know, who's going where, if somebody needs to take our kid somewhere. You know, we'll have to have different discussions, and maybe we'll see more aunties and uncles that she's not aware of or she does not know. So we'll have to have different conversations. But foundationally, we do have a steady foundation to deal with those things.
Okay. But here in the States, your foundation is steady, and
Yes.
the fluctuation is what?
Minimal. Minimal at best. Okay.
I'd agree. It's minimal.
To make sure.
It is minimal.
And I know this is a sensitive subject because you're talking about generations of history
Yes.
that have to be honored.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And so that's why I'm not trying to pry or pine for information. I just want you to share what it is that your challenges were. But go ahead, Victoria.
Oh no.
And thank you so much, Heath, for being sensitive. But the truth is, I mean, we're dealing with it, and I know so many other people within our African community or that dealt with it or try to deal with it and did not get a successful outcome.
Howdy.
You know, so
Yeah.
it's a cultural thing. Sometimes in Nigerian strong culture. For the most
I remember
part,
I was
so.
asked to speak at a church one time from a man. I can't. No, he was a client, so I can't talk about it.
Okay.
But I was asked to speak at a church one time, and it was an African church,
Yes.
a Nigerian church, I say. And when I got there, I was speaking. I was surprised because it was the women were having a service, and they were talking about women's stuff, but they wanted their husbands there, and so all the husbands were sitting in the back, just to be there to listen to the women talk about their stuff, and then they wanted me to come down and talk to the men, like the men were going to have a breakout group based upon what they heard, and then in the basement of the church, and then I was going to facilitate a discussion based upon what I heard the women saying and so forth. So it was interesting for me. And when I got there was a lot of, this was like during the height of the Me Too movement.
Okay.
So there's a lot of Me Too, and they did one of those polls where you scan your QR code and then you can do an anonymous poll. Oh my goodness. I was like, wow. This is the Me Too situation was high, like 70-something% people
Not shocked.
expressed that they had. I was like, oh, I got to deal with
The
this.
women?
Yeah, 70-something% of the women said that they're dealing with Me Too issues.
Yeah.
And this is married couples, meaning that their husband is there. But I'm like, oh, and the husbands are seeing this, but they don't know if their wife said anything, so they feel like there's some safety. But I was like, I gotta find a way to deal with this.
Ooh.
And so when it came time for me to do the breakout, I was trying to get there. But what was very clear to me is that there's a cultural difference that I don't understand. And I was like, oh, this is not just about us coming to church and being Christians. There's a cultural difference here that some of the men were like, yeah, and I was like, and I was the one who was in the not wrong, but I was the ignorant one. I was the one who didn't know. I was like, oh, I'm supposed to know what I'm talking about, but I don't know. I said, so let me pivot and talk about like, you know, how we can work toward making a better home and a happier home and peaceful home. Yes. Which, you know, that can be universally applied to different cultures. Yes. And so I pivoted there, but then they shut it down because we only had 45 minutes. And this was like an all day thing from, I think, 8 or 10 to 3. And we only had 45 minutes to do that. So as soon as we got going, they're like, okay, we need men to come back. So I really never really got a chance to deal with that. But that was one of the cultural things that I realized was, wow, this is different. But I want to pivot and shift to talk about trust. 0 to 100 or 100 to 0. Victoria, you were 0 to 100, and Anthony, you were 100 to 0.
Yes.
When I understand trust and think about trust, I think about a belief that you will achieve whatever expected outcome you are going to have. And that belief is the trust that you have. If you tell me that you're going to, Bernie always uses this example, like if you're going to go to the store around the corner to go to the store, then I need to have trust that you're going to go to the corner go to the store around the corner. And so that trust really is the belief that whatever somebody says or whatever somebody pledges to do is they're going to do it. Right. So talk about, because you said, Anthony, you said you believe that people are going to go to this store around the corner, but if they do something wrong, then you kind of it fluctuates. I think you said. Yes. And Victoria, you're like, I don't believe you're going to the store around the corner. I gotta see. Let me see the groceries when you get back. Okay, you did go to the store around the corner.
Because then you come back and I said, oh, I see you went to another store too.
So share with us about like, how does that trust dynamic work between the two of you all? Because as a newly married couple, that's something that you have to learn. I know y'all were engaged and dating for a period. How long were y'all together before y'all got married?
3 years. I say 3 years.
Uh-oh.
How long?
It was 3.
About 3 years. Yeah.
I've lost count and track.
Yeah, it's been a
so
while.
many things have happened since then.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
So for the 3 years that y'all were not married, I'll say, I don't want to distinguish between dating and engaged.
Yes.
The 3 years you all were not married, there was trust that was developed to some degree or to some respect. Uh-oh, Anthony's laughing. So talk about how you all were dealt with the expectations of trust that from the completely diverse different places.
So luckily enough,
I want to hear Victoria go first, because Victoria's sitting over there with her hands crossed with a smile on her face, chilling.
Because I'm laughing because I'm just thinking you said this is pre-marriage, right?
Yeah. No, I was referencing the pre-marriage time that you all had built trust, but then now y'all got married.
Okay.
Then after marriage, like, how did that trust work?
Trust?
Yeah. Because you all have different expectations about.
Somebody's 100 and the other one.
Restroom?
Huh?
Can I go to the restroom?
Really?
I'm sorry, I can't.
We're gonna pause for a bathroom break right now.
I forgot about the first wedding. I was like, did I know about 3 weddings? And I was sitting here thinking, I was like, oh, and when you said where you had it
I don't know
at.
how to answer this question. I'm sitting here thinking too. I know with the trust part before, but I feel like I trust him now. There's no issues now. It's not like I feel like he has to earn it now.
But how'd you get there?
It was a lot. It was a lot based on, what happened back in our past.
Somebody was in the street, somebody took a break, somebody went back into the street. But at the end of the day, I would say we both had,
Yes.
I had my,
Bernie knows the stories, right?
Bernie didn't like
Bernie wasn't a part of our counseling for some odd reason.
I know. And the time I was supposed to come.
The only couple that you weren't a part of.
I know. And the time I was supposed to come, he forgot or something. Remember,
I
I was
did
supposed
forget,
to come
yeah.
one time, and I was like, I thought I was supposed to get in with Anthony and Victoria.
I
He's
said,
like,
yeah, I did
"Oh," I'm
forget.
like,
Terrible.
yeah,
so
but
Bernie's sitting here not
I'm
knowing.
caught up on most of y'all stuff, but
Most of the
some of the stuff I
shenanigans.
might not.
But I want to
I feel
explore.
like that's a big part of our trust thing and all of that.
Oh yeah,
But I don't even know how.
but
Well, I mean,
We
I want to
built
ask
that.
Victoria because Anthony, you have been careful, freely sharing, and thank you.
you're welcome.
But Victoria, could you move that microphone back, please?
Do where it was.
Because when you lean forward, it blocks your face
Ah.
from this camera angle. That's why I
It's
put it
fine
right
now.
there.
It's fine now.
It's fine now. Wait a minute.
Okay,
See, 'cause
great.
you're blocking Anthony a little bit. That's okay. He's tall. That's why I put him in the back. Pause.
3, 2, 1, go. Okay.
Oh yeah, we're not. Yeah, we're good. All this
Okay,
is
we're
going
good.
in.
Okay.
What?
I mean, most of it.
Right.
But yeah, the what were we saying? What were we
Trust.
saying?
Trust.
I
Talk
forgot.
about trust.
She
And I
goes
didn't really have an answer for
100.
you, but go ahead.
Trust starts at 100 for her.
Yes, I want
then
you all were
No,
y'all
zero.
were
No,
y'all were
zero.
not married, and there was trust
No,
that was
for you,
developed.
0.
However high or low it was, or however he went from 0 to 100, or she went from 100 down to 0, and then you got married. So maybe we could start talking about how did you deal with the trust before you all got married? What was the trust level, Victoria? I'm gonna go with Victoria first.
Yeah, 'cause we're not
Before y'all got married, how did you deal with that?
Before marriage, it was definitely a struggle. Just
New
in
York,
terms
New York.
of how
Oh my God.
you guys say New York. What New York got to do with it? Just in terms of how we came together and our dating history wasn't the traditional. Oh, we're gonna do courtship and we went straight to straight to engagement and then married. No, that was not ours. And so, due to certain circumstances and certain things, trust was completely out of the window on both parties. And
Street
so,
calling. Can I add list to this?
Did he say?
What did you say?
The streets
street
is
calling?
calling.
Oh, the streets was calling.
Streets was calling.
gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna let you finish, Victoria.
sorry,
Then,
I'm
then
ad-libbing.
Anthony.
right, where was I?
I'm sorry.
There was a lot of
Mistrust on both
mistrust on
ends.
both.
There was
both ends.
mistrust on both ends. However, we came to a realization throughout the dating process of, okay, we either in or not, and this is what it is. So we gonna try one more time. If it's not happening, then we go our separate ways.
Okay.
And it was from there on that, well, throughout that whole journey, we still had to kind of build the trust back on both parties. Again, he as he stated, he's someone that just gives trust off bat, and then as things happen, he starts to pull back, and I'm more of like, okay, I need to see action. I need to see you earn that trust.
Okay.
And when the way I answer that question, that's what I think about, of you having to, I want to see the fruit. I want to see the things that you've done in order for me to know in my mind that, okay, I can trust you because I've seen and I saw you did X, Y, and Z.
So Anthony, because she was requiring you to earn that trust back, did you feel like I don't want to put in that work to earn the trust back because I think I should be trusted because I should be at 100. I was at 100 and really I should be at maybe 70 or 65, and then I can go up. I'm not that far from 100, so I don't have to put in all that work. But really, you were down to 0, and you had to put in work just to get to 35.
I would say even though I can't gauge what percentage I am, but I am aware of my actions. I am more meticulous and calculated, so I am aware of my actions, and I am aware when I don't communicate, and she lets me know I don't communicate. Okay, I didn't. She's right. She got it. So I do know where trust does when it will fluctuate. So I am cognizant of that. So
Okay.
I'm like, okay, she has a point. I need to work better or do better. Okay, I'm not sitting so pretty on this throne right now. So, I do need
98%
to
of the time.
adjust before the throne gets taken away from me, So I am cognizant to a point.
Okay.
Even though I might fight it sometimes, I am very cognizant that it is a fluctuating, a moving target. Maybe if I went to, now where we are, can I say not where we are if
Well, before we get to now,
okay.
because there was a journey to now, and
The
this is-
roadmap.
and this is-
Okay,
this
the
is why-
roadmap.
This
That's
is
what
why
I'm
I wanted to bring newly married couples in,
Okay.
because newly married couples talk about where we are now, or they like we're working toward it, but it's the journey, it's the struggle.
Okay.
Because and I appreciate that you all's journey is not so traditional, you called it, but I think y'all's journey is more traditional than you think.
Oh really?
Oh yeah.
Well, when I say that, I think about in the lens of Christian.
I'm talking about Christian too.
Okay, yeah, that
really?
too.
Because
but-
y'all aren't y'all Christians?
Yes,
Uh-huh.
however,
Yeah. But
I think the straight and narrow path.
right. But so you all were struggling with like trust issues from the giddy up, like from the time that you all were decided to get married. So after you all got married, did you?
No, I think it leveled out before we got married. Because I wouldn't have been able to even enter that space had I not been able to trust him.
What was the leveling factor for you? For Victoria.
Yes, Victoria, I'm not going to be your mouthpiece, even though I am your husband, but continue.
Nah,
I will help.
No, I want to know. I was asking Victoria.
Yeah, so Victoria, let us know, and then I will jump in if I need to.
I can't respond differently than I did already. I think, again, it was just the actions and the things that I had to see in order to know for sure that I could trust this person.
So after so you were together for 3 years before.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll say years. I don't know how long it was, but for the years prior, when that trust was not elevating, it was zero, and it would go up and then would go down, or go up and go down. The things that you were seeing at that point, did they rise? Did they keep rising, or was it like I'm gonna move toward marriage at this level of 51% because that's above 50, and I feel comfortable moving forward with that?
Hit it on the head. But please
Yes,
answer,
but
baby.
I think that's correct. However, I wouldn't say 51%. I definitely need at least 80%.
Okay, I was trying to
Yeah,
do above.
wasn't gonna give the 100, but definitely at least the 80%.
Okay.
And
So-
it continued to grow.
So whatever he did, whatever actions you saw, you did see him. It did increase your belief that whatever he said he was going to do, he was going to do.
I can even jot down milestones. You start off baseline, non-negotiables. That's your baseline right
Okay.
there. No cheating, and so. Then you rise up from, you get up from communication, right? Communication opens the trust. I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna pick you up this time and be on time, or be where you said you're gonna. If you're gonna deviate from plans, hey, text message, just communicate it. Then you kind of get a few, 10, maybe 20% up, right? Then love language.
This is good. This is good. You are giving the cheat code for how to build trust. So the first one was what now?
Baseline. Your baseline
Your
was
baseline was
non-negotiable.
non-negotiables.
Non-negotiables out the door at
Oh,
that
this
point.
is good.
You
This is
down
good.
you zero.
Y'all need to
negative.
take notes if y'all are watching this.
Non-negotiables. Then communication.
The communication.
If you communicate well, a woman will trust you, even if you ain't ish, but you're communicating. She will at least have some kind of trust. That's the truth. You're communicating, so she knows
Is that
what
the
to
truth?
She
No,
knows.
I would agree.
She knows
Okay.
what to expect, so you're not gonna surprise her. So she knows what she's dealing with, where she is.
Yeah.
So she's not gonna ever be shocked. Oh, I knew who's going. This is something So communicate, even if you're going left, let her know. Hey, we're going left now. Sorry
Yeah.
about that. Going right. Then after that, then you start feeding it to her personal being, love language, trying to cater to her and what she wants and how she wants to be loved. Which
Okay.
is where the fluctuation. I apologize.
It's okay.
Which is where the fluctuation really will come into play. Of communication, yeah, that will fluctuate too.
Yeah, I'm about to say the other
But
areas can fluctuate
it can
too.
fluctuate too, but this is where the communication of if some women have a baseline of communication, you can get married. Oh, that's all I need, communication. And that you can work towards that love language thing. As long as you do a little bit, yeah, that's but that's pretty much the percentages.
Victoria's like, that's not me.
Yeah. So women with that, they differentiate, but at least the communication, you have a baseline. Non-negotiables.
Non-negotiables, communication, love languages, and that will get you to what?
Love language, you like at 95, maybe 98%, because nobody 100%.
So what did you work on to get you from 0 to whatever number you were at? You said 80% by the time y'all got married.
So I started off, I had the same non-negotiables of her. I had actually more non-negotiables than her, right? Because I mean, the cheating thing is non-negotiable for us. That's how we
Both of
started
us,
off.
yeah.
We started off having conversations. Spiritual thing for me wasn't non-negotiable. For her, later, I mean, how we met, but later on it became as non-negotiable for her.
Okay.
And I worked my way, not because of her, but because of worked my way. This is where we usually, But she had a very big part to play, I would say, because she did put me in communication with the right people to get me there. So she was God sent, I would say that.
Okay.
Our non-negotiables were met at that point. Then it became more interactions, our friendship. Then it starts gauging, oh, you said you're going here. Or she communicating, always want to stay on the phone. Us communicating. So when you communicate, you start checking off, do they lie? I mean, are they forthcoming? How do they communicate? And you start kind of getting a personality. And you guys start trying to figure out how would this be a water and oil, or how smooth, and adjust your communications to make sure that this works. Then in the mix while you're dating too, you might be dating other people too. That's when you start figuring out the love language if you care enough.
Okay, if you care enough, that's important.
That's very
if you
important.
care enough.
If you care enough, but if you get to that point where the love for her, I mean, we're like water and yin and yang. So we don't fit perfectly, but we adjust.
Okay.
Enough to.
And I think that's typical for
That's
every
most people.
every
Most
marriage.
couples, actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what was, and I'm gonna throw this to you, Victoria. What was the thing that made you feel like, okay, I'm starting to trust him. His numbers are starting to rise. Because it sounds like you had to shift from your perspective, your understanding of I can do the bare minimum, and then she should accept that.
Yes.
Because you start at 100, and you're like, okay, if I don't do this, if I don't do that, then I'm not too far down from 100. I just got to do it again, and then I'm back up at 100 again.
Yes.
But she's like, you get nothing. So how did you like, what was that journey like for you? I guess from the time that after you all got married.
After the time we got married.
Yeah.
Like I said, by that time, I was already 80% in. So I'm like, okay.
Or you can speak to like before marriage and then the 80% in and then after marriage.
My answer would be that he was doing the things, right? Maybe all the things that he even just noted, right? Like communication, making sure that he's communicating, not having me blindsided by certain things. Also the part about you also making sure that he's adhering to the love language part of, okay, this is the way that I want to be loved. Not so much you giving yourself and your love language, but really adhering to what it is mine was and loving me the way that I wanted to be loved. Also increased that level, those numbers as well. Yeah.
I got the cheat code. Cheat code.
Not all of it. See, you can't give him 100% all the time.
And so now, where is the interpretation of trust now that you all are 2 years into it?
I'll let you answer this.
It's just there.
It's just there?
It's just there.
I got it more in depth.
I feel like for me, it's just there. And I'm not going to say that marriage mysteriously changes that, because it absolutely does not. You signing a paper does not mean this person is just going to change. The same person you was dating, and
Exactly.
of course change occurs, and I watched my partner go through that process and change truly, because even as we're married, he's not the old person that people know him as Tony to be. However,
Rebuke in the name of Jesus.
as we're married now, 2+ years in, that trust is just there. There's no question about it. For these past couple of years, we've gone through things together. I think that's another thing that strengthened that trust, the trials and tribulations that we've been through. Having a child is also another hat that had to be thrown into the equation.
Scattered our lives, man.
Yeah, which forced us, had no choice but to kind of trust each other, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think for couples, and I'm not saying that this is you all. I think for couples who are struggling, and we don't have any children, so let me just put that out there. But for couples who are struggling, and to figure out how to make their marriage work, and they both want to make it work, having a child is a disruptor. But it also it centers a priority.
It does.
It centers a priority on, okay, it's us and this baby.
It does.
And we got to work together to make this thing, this human, like, productive person of society in the future.
Yep.
And we can't be doing what we've been doing and be all stuck in our feelings about what it is I'm getting or not getting. We got to, like, okay, it's going to be us. And then how those things kind of dwindle down. I've seen other couples that have walked the path that you are walking, maybe a year or two ahead of you all, that have have some come to Jesus moments with themselves and a therapist, or me and Bernie, to really, like, understand, like, okay, let's stop all the nonsense and let's just drill down to us.
I also think other couples that we saw, I feel like they saw how it was affecting the children.
Yeah.
And they really didn't like that. And so I think that's a lot what made them change too.
Yeah.
I can see that. That's good.
Hit the nail on the head.
Which do you feel is best for family stability, financial security or work-life balance? That was a struggle for you, Victoria.
Yes, it was a struggle.
Why?
Because I believe in both. I believe that we need to be financially stable. That is a must. However, it is still a must that there's appropriate work-life balance, so that we're still fostering healthy relationships within the family, not with just myself and Anthony, but also our son. So it's 50-50. It's a no-brainer. Come on.
Well, is it a no-brainer,
It's a no-brainer.
Anthony?
Was there a shift at any point in time since we got married that shifted to 50-50?
Yes, it did, because I want to say before pre-Asher, I was definitely more concerned with the financial stability. There is no child, so I'm going to work as much as I can.
But still, there
no
could be
responsibility.
work-life balance or work-life imbalance. Because
I don't think there was, though. I still believe that there was no imbalance.
Was there work-life imbalance, Anthony?
We were spending time, going on dates.
Yeah, but it's our time was ours. So looking back, there was an imbalance, but we accommodated it because our time was ours. We weren't on anybody else's schedule. So we just had to figure between ourselves how to carve out time. Even though we worked a lot, so many jobs and so many aspirations and things going on, we just had to carve out within ourselves time to spend together. But now,
So you said there was work-life imbalance. It was accepted.
it was accepted.
It was accepted.
Yes.
But now that you have a son, that work-life balance, the imbalance was no longer accepted, and you had to adjust for the work-life balance.
Yes.
Was there ever a point where the imbalance was not accepted, or did you have to grow to accepting the imbalance?
She had. I mean, certain. I can think of certain intervals where she had to grow to accept the imbalance. Example. Can I give some examples? Should I?
Not too much detail. But yeah,
Okay.
Go ahead. I'm putting my business out there.
You said that for real, for not too much
detail.
But
Like-
be careful. Walk carefully, boy.
She knows her husband. She's like, not too much detail.
So I mean, I'll do after marriage. So after marriage, certain points. I mean, I've always worked more than one job. She's always worked more than one job.
Let's pause right there, because y'all be working jobs.
But
Y'all be working jobs. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying y'all be working jobs.
Come on now.
American
Y'all
dream.
have
Right, the American dream.
hustles, and there's no sides.
American
There's
dream.
no side hustles. It's just hustles.
The American dream.
Okay, you were saying. Go ahead.
So yeah, at certain points through our marriage, instances where, prime example, when she was pregnant, she was sick. So anytime I clocked out from my first job, even though I was home teleworking, I had to physically go in sometimes to my neck. Actually, for a period of time, physically go in. But usually I'm back by 7 p.m., maybe 8. But that was that became a talking point because she's pregnant, she's not feeling too well, she's home by herself in the house, so that became more of a talking point. And how long can we accommodate, or how long is this gonna go on? So there have been instances where the work-life imbalance, we had to sit to reassess it because it was not it could not be accommodated by one party.
Okay.
But I mean, there were needs to be met. So to a certain point, but it had to be discussed.
I feel like,
Go ahead.
I'm just trying to figure out this work-life balance because y'all some of the most traveling folks I ever seen in my life. So I'm trying to figure out how y'all don't have that. Cause y'all, even before you got married, I feel like y'all travel all the time. And you try, I mean, and y'all, it ain't no little penny ante trips. It ain't to the little Mexico. I mean, y'all be going all over the world.
So
Y'all do be traveling.
For real. And that's what them jobs, all them jobs.
yeah.
Enjoy.
So in you only have 24 hours in one day, right? And one.
This better be good
this
because
is gonna be good. This is gonna be
because I mean
how I started was really
yeah, that was
so
very
you
okay.
only have 21 hours in one
24.
day. 24 hours. I'm sorry.
I understand.
24 hours in one day, and your wants will never stop. Your needs are met, but your wants will never stop. In this generation, our generation, there are opportunities, a lot more opportunities for you to diversify your income.
Okay.
And who won't jump on that opportunities? And the more opportunities you do get, the greater your needs, your wants become your needs. So that's how
understand
so the budget inflates, and you look around and there's no way to trim fat because the fat becomes this is a
The
need.
necessity.
Yes.
Right.
So
Interesting.
Look, I mean, that dynamic is so true, and it extends. I think it extended down to your generation.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
we and our parents kind of suffered that as well. At least my parents did. And when you get a promotion, you think, oh, we got more money now. But then you get this new streaming plan. Like I'm struggling right now because I want to get this new streaming plan, the YouTube no commercial plan,
yes.
which is
Premium.
like premium, which is like 13.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Thank you. Which is like $13.99. But I was like, I looked at our streaming plans. We have like 3 or 4. I'm like, do we really use Peacock like that anymore? And that's like $4.99. So I'm trying to reduce the number of streaming plans we get that equals $13 or $13.99 to justify getting it. Otherwise, this COLA I just got last month, the cost of living adjustment we get will be gone.
Yes.
Just by a streaming plan and some other things that I want to purchase.
yeah.
So it's something that you all definitely had to have to deal with, and I think it's a part of that. That's part of the transition when you're moving from going to. What are you doing?
I can't find. I don't know what happened to the questions. Don't worry.
Oh.
Keep talking.
I thought you brought up a TV show.
No, I'm looking for the questions, and the Yahoo went away, so I have to find it.
That is part of the struggle that that young adults have to make when they are dealing with the emergence of new money. I remember when we first when we first got married, we was broke. We had like after we got paid, we may have $40 left over.
Wow.
I couldn't buy toiletries.
Right.
He
It was
used to
like
say,
you gotta
"You can't-
wait.
we gotta-
You gotta wait.
It's like I need toiletries.
You gotta wait.
It was really bad.
And so we eventually started making more money, and we ended up paying off all of our debt,
Yes.
Bernie's debt.
Oh, really? Come on.
It was your day.
You had
That's
some
something we
too.
should talk about.
Yes, it became our day.
But you had some too. I just had more.
I just had like a credit card, and we had. I mean, it was
Our
like
debt.
97% of it was yours. Anyway, but it became our debt, and so we paid it off.
I did.
And then we had, we had a couple pay increases and promotions and so forth. So we was making good money.
Yes.
And it was like, what do we do with this? It's like we were like saving money, but we didn't know what to do with money. So the how to manage money that was coming in without spending it all and going on trips, because we went on trips and we did all that, and we were like, okay, now what? I feel like that's kind of when I hit me, I was in my mid-30s. I was like, okay, what am I doing with my life?
Yeah.
Like we've gone all the places. We had a timeshare, so we've been everywhere we wanted to go. I didn't want to buy a new car. I had the car that I wanted. We lived in the house that we wanted. So it's like, okay, what are we doing? But it was the emergence of more money that created a new problem.
Yeah.
And so y'all are dealing with that. How are you all dealing with that emergence of money creating new needs that are necessitating? And I'm gonna go to you, Victoria,
Why you gotta go to me?
Because-
What I do?
because you be real quiet over here.
Why me?
You be real quiet over here.
I'll jump in if I need to.
Because you're the one who be seeing stuff and be wanting to go places and be wanting to do things.
I
Traveling.
feel like I have dialed back though. Being married, knowing what the goals are, every year we come together.
You can't start with you can't start with the dial back.
That's true.
You can't-
Because Anthony, as of this year, as of January, I know we only 2 months.
Yeah. You want to start today. You want to start today. I'm not letting you do that.
The year, and I've been doing a good job of.
No. But before you were
dialing
doing
it
a good job
back.
of dialing it back, what was it like?
I mean, anything that I wanted to do or wanted us to do
Or go.
or go or get, we were gonna get it. We were gonna do it.
How did you go about financing that? Well, not financing it, affording that.
Working.
All them jobs.
Did
Working.
that working create an imbalance that was accepted?
Pre-marriage, yes. Post-marriage, I don't even play. Like, that's not... No. I don't do that. I make sure that even though I may have multiple jobs and side hustles and whatever, I never sacrifice on the family time or the weekends. Like, those things are not... We don't even touch them.
Okay.
7 o'clock, my dinner hot on the table. Every
Yeah,
day.
right.
Every day, 7 o'clock.
Yeah, right.
Where am I?
Asher's dinner might be there waiting for him at 7 o'clock. But we was looking at each other, so what we eating?
But you all's the imbalance that you all talked about and how you wanted to. It was a struggle for you to try to pick one. It sounds like it's clearly one and not the other. It's clearly the family stability and not the financial. It sounds like that.
Yes, now it is.
Well, it was for you, but for Victoria, it's because you just said that that at no time you allow your work to get in to conflict with your family time.
Correct. However, I still am making sure we're financially stable.
I don't.
Okay, so our dynamic works like this, right?
Okay.
Past few years, we got married. Past few years, we discussed finances. We outlined our objectives, our goals for the year. I'm more of the fruit. I watch every penny.
Every dime.
Every dime in our account. I need to know where it's going. Even if I didn't have any hand in it, I need to know where it's going. Because when God asked me, were you a good steward? I'm like, yes, I was, because I know where every dime went.
Wow.
But at the same time,
Go ahead, put the scripture on it. Go ahead.
At the same time, I am very aware of myself and how I do watch money, right? And watch our finances. And I know that is so I make sure that I'm very cognizant that, I let my wife too experience what she wants to experience and never shut the dream or her plans. I open a discussion up. Then we sit down and see how do we accomplish. Because some of the things she brings, it's not in my wheelhouse. It's not something I want to do. But I just want to make sure that she experiences. And I have great experiences with stuff she wants to do. Hey, let's travel here. I don't like a big traveler, but sure, let's go. And I actually enjoy stuff like that. But at the same time, I make sure that how we getting there. What is the plan to get there?
Yeah, I would say you definitely reel me in. We're opposites in that sense.
Okay.
And initially, we did start off our marriage. Okay, we need what time to what time are we having dinner? We having dinner as a family. What days are we having dinner family? What is the late night routines look like? Are you gonna be in the bed from 10 to 11 or 10 to I fall asleep? Then you can go to the basement and play your games or go do whatever or turn on your laptop. Continue working. But we had those. That was our dynamics.
That's good.
Within our marriage before we had kids. So we just made accommodations around our times. That's what I said initially.
Okay.
And just find times that we can carve out for ourselves within our busy schedule. It might be off times, 11, 10, to do things, but we could make it work for us because we were on our schedule.
So do you feel that you work to live or do you live to work?
I personally work to live. Let me explain. Let me explain, and I'll let you explain But personally, I work to live because working, I do have a sense of fulfillment.
Okay.
I enjoy spending like Saturdays, Sundays. I enjoy waking up, spending time with the family. But 2 days of doing nothing, no structure, or feeling like okay, it's a good balance because I enjoy what I do. I actually enjoy what I do career-wise, so it fulfills me. So I can't. Even if I wasn't doing it at work, I'll probably be rebuilding my entire house, which I do at some point. So I actually enjoy what I do. So I feel like I work to live.
Y'all's bathroom looks nice, I must say. Y'all's bathroom is nice.
Thank you. So I feel like I work to live. So I find enjoyment in working. But at the same time, I appreciate the downtime to spend with family. But at the same time, I also enjoy, I enjoy the work.
What about you, Victoria?
Yeah, before I start.
Do you work to live or do you live to work?
I work to live.
I think I live to work.
Work to live.
Oh, doesn't matter.
Or live to work.
You don't understand the difference?
I do, but it's jumbled in my brain.
Yeah,
work to live.
Or live to work.
I work because I have to in order to live. So if I didn't have to work, no, I'm not working.
Okay.
I'm going to enjoy my family. I'm going to enjoy doing the things that I love to do. But I would say what I do, I love to do. And so I'm fortunate to be able to monetize that. And so it doesn't really feel like I'm working, so to say. But yeah, I work because I have to. I don't think I would. I want to be retired like Bernie with money in the bank.
I asked that question because it sort of puts into perspective the way that you approach not only your finances, but that work. I guess work-life balance is the word that we're using. The work-life balance, because it lets you know what your priority is. Mm-hmm. And that's why I think you're leaning toward family more so than you are money, because if you didn't have, because some people, I'm thinking about people who are workaholics, like, oh, I gotta work. I love what I do so much. Or I'm used to thinking some old school rough-handed man that's like, I've worked my whole life. I gotta do something. I can't just not do anything. Mm-hmm. Where juxtaposed to somebody who's like,
work to live?
Yes. Live to work. That's the live to work.
Oh.
You have to work. It's like the work is what gives me fulfillment. Mm-hmm. I think about my uncle who
I live to work.
You live to work? So you
The
so it's
worker,
the work.
the
It's the work.
workaholic is live to work.
Yeah, it's the work that gives you fulfillment. And so even though you have downtime, even though sometimes you'll forsake the family because I got to go to the office. I got to go. You see all these
live to
movies
work.
with
I get it.
police officers who destroy their family because they're always out in the job and they get divorced and they don't never see their kids. Like, I'm talking about not real life people, but like movies and stuff like that. This kind of stigmatism that the people have about who are in the field working so much that they just forsake everything else. That's what I'm talking about.
So I would say, due to the recent change in this telework and this COVID has really shifted the workforce. It might go back, but the flexibility we do have, even workaholics can still find a balance because they have more control of their time, because they don't have to. 9 to 5 is not the for the
their
past few
office.
years has not been the normal working people who now have more control of their time, so they can be workaholics around their own personal schedule. You see people
I
sending
understand
in
that, but do you?
three,
But
four,
but you still are a workaholic, though.
yeah, you're still a workaholic.
The place where you're workingaholic is changed.
Yes, you're still a workaholic.
You
Yeah.
can be workaholic. Oh, we're gonna have a dinner, then I'm gonna go back to work. Or then after I get off work or stop working at 9:10, then you're on your phone doing emails while you're sitting there trying to watch TV with your spouse. So you're not, just because you're home doesn't mean that workaholic has shut down.
You're not present.
And it could also cause other problems that because the person who you are with, I was thinking we talk about this couple so often, but this one man was upset with his wife because she worked so much to be able to afford their child to go to school.
Yes.
And so for those that y'all don't know, the story is that she worked so much for their son to go to a Ivy League school that she forsook her husband in her marriage. And he was out there in the streets and whatever. And then she brought him to us and we tried to address the issue. But he was like, I'm out here because you prioritize this school more so than you did me.
Yes.
And that became your God. That became your husband.
Yeah.
And so, no, I don't want to come back home. So that was a situation where she was working so much that she just forsook the things that were right in front of her husband and her family and so forth.
Yeah, I would say I can only speak for ourselves. I would say I'm a workaholic, but
Really?
I do find time. I've been blessed enough to be able to balance it, and that's.
I would not have picked that you were a workaholic.
That's because how we started. Because she's a workaholic too. We just find time. We usually find time within those cracks to schedule time for ourselves. Now with the child, we find time around.
So the workaholic
schedule.
balance that you all are carving out. How did you all come to that kind of agreement, if you will?
That's just through dating, understanding our goals, ambitions, where we need to be, and just being transparent of how we need to get there, what we need to, the time we need to sacrifice to get there. And in all honesty, just how you said, you're married, the person you married is not going to change unless there's a huge life-changing experience. The person you marry if you pay attention to them, you know their work habits. You know if they're going to pick up extra projects, pick up extra hours. So you have to be aware of that. That kind of gives you a glimpse of their work habit. And I was due diligent enough my wife's drive to see and know my wife's drives and understand her aspirations and what it would take to meet those aspirations. It's a lot of sacrifice to own your own business.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of long hours, so you need to make space for that. And vice
So you
versa.
own your own business, Victoria?
I do.
What business is that?
Ik ben a consulting, and it is a mental health. For now, it is just mental health services, but we hope to grow and expand in the future.
Okay, good. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
I didn't want to cut you off, Anthony, but we're running way late on time. Okay,
I
Bernie.
found that question. Oh, shoot. It was, which do you prefer, mutually agreed upon decisions or defer to your spouse's judgment? And you said defer.
You want
that's
to go
the
first,
one you
babe? Because
Sure, I can
I'm
go
a talkative. I can talk.
Do you want me to
I
read
said,
it?
yeah, one more time.
Okay.
I know he's defer. I'm the other one.
Yeah.
I just deferred.
Which do you prefer, mutually agreed upon decisions
Okay, yes.
or defer to your spouse's judgment?
Yes, definitely mutually agreed upon. I think that it should be a 50-50 buy-in. I still do believe in that traditional marriage role of the woman should follow the man. However, there's still, in that space, there's still room to have 50-50 in the sense that I'm still getting buy-in. It's not just you making the decision, then coming back telling me later, okay, so this is what we're gonna do. No, I need to know. I want to be a part of that process.
Right.
And in certain situations, that's okay. However, even within that process, let me be a part of your decision making, and I want to know the factors. I want to know everything before you, or even know why you want to make that
Right.
unanimous decision.
Were you always like that?
No. I don't think so. No.
What were you like before?
Before marriage?
Well, before you were like having this desire to have the decision making made mutually.
Before marriage?
Whenever that was, I don't know. I'm not putting a time on when you were like that.
Yeah, I mean,
Because you could have been like that in marriage.
no, I've always been that way. I always want to be a part of the decision making. I don't think it should just be one person calling the shots, whether that's me or whether that's him. It's 50-50. Like, let me be a part of the decision making that you're going to make for the whole family. That doesn't mean that I don't trust my partner to make those decisions on his own. However, he has a helpmate. That's why I'm here, right? Like, don't push me off to the side. Let me be a part of that. There's certain things he may not see that I might know.
Right.
That's a good one.
And so let me be a part of the decision making.
How was that transition to this place where you desire this type of
A
leadership?
struggle. A struggle.
Leadership.
Because that
Okay.
wasn't, again, as he even just stated, right? Like, you prefer to defer.
Right.
However, he has his moments where he will just make decisions based on his upbringing and how you were raised. It's just like, okay, when you do feel strongly about something, I'm just gonna make the decision, keep moving. And so that was something we also had to work through, which again, I said, is a struggle because we have differing opinion and views. So a lot of times he does defer to me, but even if he does defer, I still be like, hey babe, what do you think about blah, blah, blah? Like, I'm not going to just make the decision on my own. I'm still having conversations.
So you defer and you unilaterally make decisions.
Yeah. So I'm naturally I'm laissez faire. But when I do feel strongly, or when I think and I feel something needs to go a certain direction, it must go in that direction, no matter what's happening. So that's
sure
something-
Which we're working on.
Yeah, I'm sure
Yes.
I was going to say, I'm sure
That's
that
the point of contention.
brings out a point of conflict in y'all's
Oh
marriage.
yes. It's. I mean,
But
we're
you
here-
started off by saying that you defer.
Yeah, I do.
And you were
defer.
like, I'll explain why later. Explain why.
95% of the time, I feel like he defers.
Yeah, 95 because.
Oh, okay.
It's a
That's
handful.
good.
It's a handful, but it's always the big stuff that is the handful.
So I mean, in most parts, it's you still get to your destination. It's just which route are you taking? Are you taking the uphill or the downhill, the cruise control, or you gonna pedal to the metal? 75 all the way there. So in all honesty, there is no wrong decision per se. So it's more laissez-faire. So what would you like to do? You would like to eat pasta tonight or chicken? You're still gonna get fed for the most part. So that's most of the decisions that come to our plate. That's the decision. It's how we gonna tackle it, right? That's really the question. How are you gonna tackle it? So stuff like that, I defer because either we go left or right.
You don't care.
We're still gonna make to the destination. It's not gonna harm us
So
or be detrimental to.
Was
us in
that decision making process for him okay with you in the beginning? Why is that?
Because I care about the process in which we get there.
Ah,
I don't want to be kicked hypothetically. I mean, not hypothetically. What is it? Symbolic?
Figuratively.
Figuratively. There we go. I don't want to be kicked, knocked down, get bruises, have to heal from that. No, I don't appreciate that
Through
type
the
of
journey,
process.
you mean. Through the journey.
Through the process of making that decision.
Yeah.
The journey to get to the final destination is what is important to me. I want to know that you're being emotionally supportive throughout that journey to the final destination, not just bulldozing through.
That's important because that's a lot of times what we see in, especially the different dynamics between men and women, newly married, old marriages, that there is and people always lead with, the bottom line is, well, you don't get to the bottom line until you calculate all the different other lines. And it's the other lines that actually equate the bottom line. So you can't just say the bottom line is, because it's all the other things that make up the bottom line. And when people look at the bottom line is we get there by 7:00.
Yes.
But when you get there, and the analogy that Bernie and I have used is when you get there, do you want to mad, kicking and screaming, you fussing, cussing at each other. Like you get to the party at 7:00 because that's what time it starts, but y'all don't have a good time together. So would it have been better for y'all to arrive at 7:30 and y'all have a great time, and then or get there at 7:00 and have a miserable time?
Right.
And for some people, getting there at 7:00 is a goal. That's the goal. Getting there at 7:00. So we got to get there at 7:00. Like it's different when you say like we got to catch a flight. The flight leaves at 7:00. You got to get the flight. Happy, mad, sad, or whatever. But if it's depending upon the circumstances, it will depend on what it is that you do and how you approach it. So the difference between what those things, the things that are like important for you all to pursue together at a timely manner or like the bottom line ish versus the process. How did you all kind of figure out what works for the two of you?
It was a lot of communication, and I would say to a lot of self-assessment and self-realization on my part.
Okay.
I might say I don't, but do I really care? If we make this decision, even though we're gonna get there, I really had to do a lot of self-assessment too. Will I make it? How will the journey affect me as well as her through this process? Okay. I had to do a lot of self-realization and self-assessment of myself rather than taking more of a laissez-faire. And I mean, through experiences too. This was very, very, very. This was very. This was. This was a very important learning lesson. As a husband, this was a very important lesson I learned. Okay. I'm gonna take it back to the Bible because this was preached too.
Okay, take it back to the Bible.
It wasn't the presence of the falling of Adam and Eve was because Adam remained silent.
Yeah.
So I took that literally because no matter what happens within your marriage, what happens within your life, if you're there, you don't speak, you don't even have a say in it, and your wife made the decision, you still, as the head of the household, will be held responsible
for it.
Always blame up.
So
I always do.
Yeah, so I took that literally in our marriage too. I've experienced it. Decisions. Oh, I don't make a decision, then I'm looking at even if it fails or it succeeds, you have to own. You take responsibility. So own some part in it. Yeah. You don't just kick your feet up. Right. Lead.
I'm not going. I want you to finish, but that is such a critical point that I want to definitely drive home. It's a biblical point because for some who don't have a biblical perspective, that don't subscribe to that dynamic, that even though if the wife makes a decision or whatever culminates from what she decides to do, ultimately it's the husband that's responsible. Yeah. And I think about it like from a child perspective. If a child goes and takes something off of the store shelf and breaks a glass, it's a child's fault, but it's a parent's responsibility. Mm-hmm. Yes. So now the parent got to pay for that. Yes. Mm-hmm. And it's the same thing with a marriage, a Christian marriage, that even though the wife, Eve bit the fruit or ate the fruit, Adam was standing right there and he didn't step up. Yes. And as a result, the whole dynamic of their relationship with each other and with God changed. Yes. And that, I won't get into all the details about how that's important, but for you, go ahead.
I also, in that handled or was a lesson for the laissez-faire side of me. Mm-hmm. The more emotions, we don't get too much in me. I don't get too emotional. So if I feel emotionally driven about something, we are getting there. Sacrifices will be made. Give us a example or a story of when you felt emotionally about something. Oh Lord, I haven't done this in a while. I can't. I know she has examples, but I can't pinpoint a certain example. This happened recently. This literally. Okay. Let me be transparent. Let me be transparent. Right. This happened recently, but it didn't come to fruition. Right. So, a few days ago, right? Actually, yesterday.
Mm-hmm. This is brand new.
So yesterday, we had to come here at 1:00 today, and we had to do this. Then
are you going into details?
Oh, I shouldn't go into details.
No, you shouldn't.
Okay, so
know your audience. Your setting.
Okay. So I felt strongly. Even though we had this planned and something else was dropped that wasn't on our calendar, but that's another situation. We live by a calendar. So I'm like, I felt strongly that I want to spend time with my nephew. And I was having a conversation. Mind you, he's 4, and he asks me, "Can I come over?" And I'm always saying yes, 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 yes. So just say yes. And I heard, "You didn't check in with me before this," and I'm like, "Oh, I did it." And this time, his mother was like, "Oh, I'll drop him off at this time." I'm like, "Oh, so this is really happening." And then I have, "Oh, I didn't check in about this, but I feel very strongly about this." Right?
What
And-
happened?
And then,
What was the outcome?
the outcome was, and then my wife, so it was a dilemma. I prayed on it. I don't know.
Prayed on it.
I mean, so I did contact her and let her know, hey, we have things scheduled, so we'll have to postpone,
Of which we did.
which we did. But it was one of those things that I felt strongly. I felt hurt that I can't spend time with because.
But so you said that if you feel real strongly about something, then you're just gonna go for it.
Oh no, I did. I ran. Oh, I asked her how many times. I'm like, I'm gonna keep asking you this until you say yes.
He said that yesterday.
Yeah, and I
He
had.
only asked twice though.
And I had
And he came to
a little bit
Jesus
of a little bit of spice. The
A
whole
little
day,
spice?
a little spice the whole day.
Oh.
On everything the whole day. But I had to check myself. I didn't check myself, but I was cognizant that I feel strongly about this. This is something I want, but how I can't get my way in this. It really, I had to defer to her to get approval and blessing on this. So, I mean, it was something I felt strongly on. I tried my best to force it subtly.
Force it subtly.
It's
Wow.
the subtle touches, but once I realized, this is not going to work out, or this will be very detrimental in the long run. I might get my way, but in the long run, it will be very detrimental to our marriage, or I will have to pay for this in some way, shape, or form.
Correct. It would not be a happy home.
Yeah, and I realized, this is probably not worth the...
I'm hearing a lot of stories about, Anthony, your evolution and your growth, and you started off before y'all got married, trust was down to 0. You rose to 80%, and then you've been vacillating ever since.
Yes, such as marriage.
I haven't heard a lot of different transformative life stages or marital stages that you've gone through personally. Have you been like steady the whole time? Like, okay, I'm the baseline, and you have to reach my standard, or has there been any kind of development that you've had to go through, that you've had to learn from?
I've definitely had to make changes as well. Just as we're two different people from two different walks of life, I've also had to make changes in knowing, okay, this is the way Anthony operates. For example, he likes to bulldoze through if he wants his way. And so learning how to be calculated, right? Learning how to, be not savvy. I don't want to say savvy, but
Patient.
just learning how
Not
to come.
patient.
Not patient.
No, I don't want to say savvy, but just learning how and when
Strategic.
to be strategic. There we go. How to be strategic when it comes to certain, when you may get in your way or whatever the scenario might be. I think I have learned how to do that as a wife, and being your wife in particular, and knowing you.
But
I've
that's
had
all
to.
contingent upon Anthony and how you respond to him.
Mm-hmm.
But what about the things that Anthony has talked about are things that he personally
Okay, I see what you're saying.
was dealing with, and that was causing you frustration,
Mm-hmm.
and he had to change so that you would be happy. Have you had to make any changes so that he would be happy? Or have you just been the static through line through everything, and it's like
I don't know. I don't.
all lines come through me?
No, I don't think all lines come through me, but I'm sitting here thinking, what are some of those things? Because they are definitely there.
Look at Anthony. Anthony's like,
Anthony's
I'm
Anthony
not
know?
going to
'Cause
say
he's not?
anything.
I mean,
Do you know?
so I can just think about a few items that
Few items.
that have
God.
rubbed me the wrong way that I had we discussed. Oh, I do. I do. Actually.
You're cutting all of this out, right?
Yeah, how you cutting it out? Okay, certain things. Yeah, certain things. Babe, I don't think you've grown.
I'm not cutting that out.
Wow.
I'm drawing a blank.
Is it that she's not grown, or that you
I think I'm
that
simple.
that she is more of a standard bearer?
Yeah, I think more that. I knew what I got into, so.
God, your words, Jesus.
No, but I really understood my wife before I married her. And you walk in, you walk in not expecting somebody to change. If they change, I mean, not expecting somebody to change for the better. That's how I see marriage. If they change,
You don't want them to change for the better?
you don't expect it. If you walk into a marriage forever expecting somebody to change, you
Oh, I
will
see
be
what you're saying.
disappointed.
Oh.
If it goes the other way. So you know what you're getting. You have a baseline.
So you accept them for who they are.
I accepted my wife for who she is.
Okay.
For who she is. If she changes for the better, to God be the glory. If things change for the worse, we will deal with it. We'll work through it.
So it sounds like that you're so messed up that you had to do all the changing, and she just was like, yes.
In a sense, yes. So in a sense, I was so. No. In a sense, you are right. You are right. I started. She had to make. She had to make minor changes to herself, and to her attitude and her demeanor, how she comes off. Certain things hey babe, I don't like this. Hey babe, you got to do this to better yourself. Hey babe, you got to do this to present yourself more. Or why don't you speak up? Or it's okay that this is a safe space to be genuine about who you are.
I just thought of something.
To other people. So minor changes, yes.
Okay.
But for me, I came from the streets, man. I was in the streets. So for me to be, just like she said, for me to be where I am and to be the man I am today, I had to do a 360. 180. I had to do a 180.
Your changing outshadowed the whole marriage. It was so much that it kind of outshadowed all the other changing anybody else might have been doing because it came from the streets.
No, so the reason
Birdie?
I would say the reason I got married is because I changed. If I didn't get there,
Okay. I understand that.
Repeat that?
The reason I got married is because I made those changes and I changed
Oh,
who
yeah.
I was.
Yeah, I wasn't going to
Okay.
marry you the way you were.
Yeah.
I
So
wasn't going to say yes.
well, she I mean, and you peep this, her background, God-fearing woman, grew up in a God-fearing home. She was in a church. So all the time, I mean, she did have her little her
Don't put her out there like that. Careful.
She did have her. No,
We're not putting any of this in there.
We're being transparent. She did have her. Let me find my relationship with God myself moment, which everybody does. Which everybody does. And
Good rephrasing.
Yeah,
Good
and I met
rephrasing.
her at the tail end of that. In the middle or the tail end of that, which I experienced too. But for the most part, she is a well-rounded, well-brought-up woman. If you either caught her before or after,
Boy, he's still learning. He's still learning.
Can I answer the
Yes,
question?
please go ahead.
I thought of something that
yes.
I have grown
Please
in.
share.
The way in which I respond when there's conflict. I do.
Yes.
That's like something I've had to grow through. My normal is just to shut down and we're just not going to talk. And I realized in our marriage that wouldn't work for us. And, just in terms of how he responds if I were to shut down. And so that's something that I've had to grow through. And I think conflict looks a lot different now.
It does. Very much so.
Because I can't shut down.
Because I will walk
I
all
can't
over
be.
you.
I
What
can't
do you
do.
mean?
So you used to shut down, and then, but it was one of the questions there. You would want to like deal with it immediately, and you
I
preferred
wanted
something else.
I wanted it to be solved
Yeah, you want a
immediately.
resolution.
I wanted a resolution.
And he wanted time to
want?
process.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. That was the other way. Okay,
Yeah.
it was the other way around. Okay.
And so when he would not when he would needed the processing time, you were trying to search for a resolution. Okay, what are we going to do next time? Or make sure we don't do this
We don't do
again.
this again.
And make sure that
All
kind
of
of
that.
thing.
All of that.
kind of thing. And you were like, just give me a moment. Just
Precisely.
give me a moment. Give me a
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
And then the pressing caused a lot of conflict.
So, but when did you shut down? When did you?
All throughout our dating period,
Oh,
and even in some in marriage.
and that
But
looks like
it's-
not talking.
Yeah, just cold shoulder. We just won't talk.
How is that now? How do you deal with conflict now? Oh, take a moment.
Because, like I said, we're all wired in a certain way. And I'm wired in a way to just want to shut down and just, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to be next to you. I don't want you to touch me. I don't want nothing to do with you. In those moments, it's like literally 0 to 100. And so I've learned how to kind of draw that back, dial that back, and remember, okay, this is the person I married. Okay. You really want to not be married to this person? You really want to throw them outside? Like, because literally in those moments, I feel like I've had those moments where it's been, I don't want to say emotional, but emotional is probably a part of that, where I'm just so in those feelings and I can't shake those feelings. And the way conflict looks now, we're talking. Hey, okay, let me know when you're ready to talk about it.
I'm on the couch. Come on.
Do you? Oh, so do you circle back and be like, okay, I'm ready now?
Most of the time, if I am in the space, I turn off the TV. I go and sit down. Okay, babe, what are you thinking? What are you feeling? And we go through the whole.
That is a very
yourself.
mature thing to do. It is.
It is.
I'm saying that it is because it is easy to, we'll talk about it later, and then later never comes.
Yes.
And then that can foster a whole bunch of other issues, and it also can compile issues where the conversation can be about any or all of the issues, and then the other ones that weren't mentioned before. And then nothing ever gets settled. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
Oh no, if it's up to me, I will not let it go undealt with.
Yeah,
I will make it a point. Hey, we still got to talk about X, Y, and Z.
Turn it off after space. Let's get to it because you're gonna have this conversation.
So, thank you all for coming to the Heath and Bernie show.
Yeah.
We appreciate
Thank
you
you.
all. It was a great conversation. I think we have your perspectives are very unique and insightful, and I hope that it provides some kind of informative value for how you all deal with your own marriages and your own newly married situations. I like the cultural dynamic, which I think is very unique to the two of you, and how you all have managed that and are managing that. So if you enjoyed this content, if you enjoyed this episode, please like and
Describe.
I was
Was that
going to see if you said describe. Last time you said like and describe.
What did I say?
Like and describe.
I said it right this
yeah,
time.
you said it right this time. So please like and subscribe to this, and we will see y'all on the next one.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.